Today I want to talk about rehoming your dog. I get a lot of people contacting me and asking me if I know of anybody who's looking for a dog, or even asking me to rehome a dog. In fact, this morning I even got a message. It came in WhatsApp and it went like this. Hi, I found your number online and I was hoping you could help me rehome my 2 dogs because I can't take care of them. But I'd rather not take them to a shelter where they'll probably be euthanized. Regards, and the lady's name. Now, I am not a rehoming service. I am a dog training, I held dog training classes, and I'm an animal behaviorist. I don't rehome dogs. But people tend to think because I have these dog training classes, I am there to help them rehome their dogs. I'm not. That's not what I do. I'm not a rehoming service and I'm not a shelter. What I worry about is the causes of rehoming. Now, I do know that there are times when dogs need to be rehomed. A lot of the time, it's the person's going away, moving into a smaller place, or something else. The one that really upsets me the most is the older people that go into an old age home or a retirement home and suddenly they're not allowed to take their pets with them. This is very sad, and I know of many cases where these old people are beside themselves because they're losing their beloved pet. I think this is so cruel, and I would like to see changes made to a lot of these places that old people can take their animals with them. Believe you me, when I get older, I will not move into a retirement home if I have an animal because I am not prepared to give up my animal. And a lot of these dogs or cats are old themselves and they can't understand why suddenly they have to be dumped in a shelter or rehomed. Very sad indeed. The other worrying point about rehoming is these people that get a young dog and then suddenly they're divorcing and now they don't want the animals anymore. This is a bit like the people who decide they've got a problem with their marriage, it's a bit rocky, so let's have a baby. Doesn't hold the marriage together. And it's exactly the same thing when you get a puppy. If you know that your marriage is on the rocks or not great, you don't go out and buy a puppy. I cannot tell you the number of people that suddenly say, oh, I'm looking for a home for my puppy because we're divorcing or we're separated. It happens all the time. I can't believe how often this happens. You don't go and get a puppy if you know your marriage is on the rocks. And no, I'm not going to find a home for that puppy. The other one is people who are going overseas. The number of people that get a young dog, a puppy, and then a couple of months down the line, oh, we're going overseas, so we need to rehome our dog. I can't believe it. You know you were going overseas. Why on earth would you get a dog? Or if you are going overseas and you want a dog, then you make sure you're going to take that dog with you. I know I'm really being grumpy here, but it really annoys me that these people, they suddenly get a dog and then they don't want it anymore. And yes, it's going to land up probably in a rescue centre. Sadly, a lot of these rescue centres are the no-kill ones, so these dogs might live there for the rest of their life, another 9-10 years because they can't get a home. It's sad. Maybe those people should make a very hard decision and say, well, I can't look after these dogs. I don't want them in a rescue centre or something. Maybe the kindest thing is to put them to sleep. Okay, don't shoot me down because I'm saying that. But you've got to look at it from the sake of the dog. Is it fair to leave them in a shelter for 9-10 years? Your decision. But I don't mind people asking if they could use my Facebook page to put up an advert that their dogs are looking for a home. I will do it for people who have trained their dogs with me, and if there's a legitimate reason, I don't have a problem with that. Where I have a problem is when suddenly I am now I now have the responsibility of finding a home for their dog because they can no longer look after their dog. Sorry guys, I don't do that. You have to do a little bit of work yourselves. You've got to put out adverts or try and find a home. And if you can't find it, maybe, just maybe, you might have to make the difficult decision of putting that dog to sleep without putting it through any more trauma. And if I have one thing to say today, if your marriage is in trouble or you're going overseas, do not get a puppy. That is not going to solve a marriage. And if you can't take the puppy with you, kindly don't get one. Wait until later when things have settled down, then think about getting a puppy.